Catherine Howard, the teenage queen who lost her head. For a few breathless seconds after the sword struck, there may have been silence. But the echoes of betrayal, youth, and blood would linger forever. She was young, she was beautiful, she was queen, and then she was dead. Catherine Howard, the fifth wife of King Henry VIII, a teenage girl swept into the highest throne in England, only to fall headfirst into tragedy. Catherine wasn't royal by birth. She was a Howard, from a powerful but troubled family. He was older, heavier, haunted by pain and bitterness. It was not love, it was escape. Called her his rose without a thorn. But he didn't know. Roses have roots in dark places. Catherine, she was everything he wasn't. Young, radiant, full of laughter. She didn't just walk through rooms, she floated. And the king, desperate to feel alive again, fell under her spell. Sent to live in the Duchess of Norfolk's household, where supervision was light and scandal bloomed like wildflowers. There, in the soft candlelight of stolen moments, Catherine learned flirtation before she ever learned fear. She shared beds. She exchanged words not meant for queens. But who knew then that the past would one day come hunting? She was barely 16 when her life changed forever. Not with a crown, not with a wedding, but with a smile, the one that caught the king's eye. By the time she entered Henry's court, the king was no longer the golden prince of legend. In July 1540, Henry married Catherine Howard. She was just about 17. He was nearly 50. Catherine Parr, the last of Henry VIII's wives, was a young woman who played with fire. At first, court was enchanted by her. She danced. She smiled. She whispered with courtiers, bringing warmth back to a cold palace. But behind the silken jewels, Catherine was dangerously naive. She thought the crown protected her. That's why she did the unthinkable while queen. She may have taken a lover, Thomas Culpeper, a courtier as ambitious as he was reckless. She never reached him. Guards stopped her, tears streaming, heart pounding, but no one came. She was dragged back, a queen no longer, just a girl waiting to die. Love letters, late-night meetings, stolen kisses. Was it innocence or treason? History still argues, but the truth didn't matter. Perception did. It began like a cold wind, a chill in the air. Then suddenly a storm. In November 1541, the king was given a letter, a quiet report filled with noise. And then she was stripped of the title queen. Allegations of Catherine's past affairs and worse, a betrayal of his bed. Henry didn't speak. He didn't eat. The man who had torn a church apart for Anne Boleyn was now broken by a girl barely old enough to be his granddaughter. Catherine was confined to her rooms, interrogated, watched. Every friend she had questioned. Every letter she wrote turned into evidence. It's said that when Catherine learned she would be taken to the Tower, she broke free, ran down the halls of Hampton Court, screaming for the king, begging for mercy. Thomas Culpeper was executed first, followed by her past lover, Francis Derham.
Catherine was next.
16-year-old Catherine Howard is brought to the Tower of London on February 10th, 1542. Still a teenager, still a prisoner of her own choices and others. They say she practiced placing her head on the block the night before her execution, laying her neck against a cold wooden frame over and over, learning how to die with dignity. On the morning of February 13th, she walked to the scaffold in a black velvet gown. No crown, no jewels, just grace. Her voice was calm. She asked for forgiveness. And then she said one thing that history never forgot. Her body was buried near Anne Boleyn, the second Queen Henry had executed. She was a girl in a world ruled by men twice her age and 5 times more powerful. She laughed, she loved, she lived too brightly. And the court that once adored her devoured her. Today, we don't remember her for her speeches or policies or victories. We remember her for her fall, fast, tragic, and unforgettable. But maybe, just maybe, we should remember the teenager beneath the crown, the girl who ran through palace halls, not to escape death, but to find someone who would listen. Catherine Howard lost her head, but she never lost her humanity. 2 wives, 2 women, 2 heads claimed by the same crown. I die a queen, but I would rather die the wife of Culpeper. True or not, the words were like a dagger, a final act of honesty or defiance. There was no drum roll, no fanfare, only silence as the executioner stepped forward. One stroke, one scream, never uttered. One girl gone. Catherine Howard was not a monster. She was not a saint.